Hello, Faustus Jock, and welcome to the Short Grass. This special edition of the Kildare Nationalist Sports Podcast is our second special edition. The last time we had Pádraig Roach, the trainer, on after his horse Saratoga won at Cheltenham. Well, I'm delighted to say Ger McNally and I are joined by Neasa Dooley, all the way from Brisbane in Australia, the former great sharpshooter from Athy, Kildare LGFA, now plying her trade for the second year in succession with Brisbane Lions, or is it Lionesses? It doesn't matter. You're doing very well.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hi guys,
Evening,
who are you?
whatever
Thanks
time
so
of the
much
day.
for having me.
It's hard to believe just 2 or 3 months ago, well, February, wasn't it? We met you over in Hawkfield. You were there watching Kildare versus Armagh in the Little League. Here you are back in Brisbane and preparing for your second season in the AFL.
Yeah, I got home for 3 weeks in January, February time, and that was really nice to get home, to be honest, to see family and friends. And I was lucky enough that the Kildare season started, so I got to watch the girls play. So that was a bit of a tease at the time. But
for you,
yeah,
or for them?
Definitely for me anyway. Yeah, would have liked to get out there and play with them, but yeah, it was great to get home for the 3 weeks. It was actually, at the time, it was just a surprise, so no one actually knew I was going home at that time.
Right.
So I got to surprise family and friends. So that was pretty special.
Was there ever a chance? I know others have done it. Was ever a chance that you would have played for Kildare during the league, or indeed the Leinster Championship?
It was definitely always in the back of my mind. I don't think it'll ever leave my mind, to be honest with you. But for this season, obviously I have the opportunity of having a nice break from AFL.
Yeah.
You get that couple of months off. So I did have plans to go travelling, which I did kind of all around Australia and
Lovely.
US, and then obviously back in Brisbane. So with that in mind, it just would have been too hard to kind of commit to Kildare, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the first time not playing with Kildare, so it was a tough decision, of course. Like, I would have loved to be out there with the girls, but yeah, I took the opportunity to spread my wings and see the world a little bit.
Very good. The first time I ever interviewed you for the Kildare Nationalist, Neasa, you expressed an interest, I say that in inverted commas, of playing in the AWFL. That interest turned into a dream or a reality?
Well, there you go. Yes, I'm living it now. So yeah, I remember I followed it for a long time, and always dreamt of coming out here to play a course. Looking at fellow Irish players who's actually now my teammates, one of them being Orla Dwyer, one of the first ones to come out here. So I followed her for a long time, and yeah, like when the opportunity came up for me a couple of years ago to, there she is, to come and play. It was
Ger's on the ball.
it was a dream come true. So yeah, like I followed Orla, and now we're teammates and really close friends. So definitely, from that first interview that I had with you talking about it to live it now it's pretty cool. It's definitely a dream come true.
But even this time last year, it was still, touch and go. You just finished the league with Kildare. I think you had decided that you weren't going to be involved in the Leinster Championship. But to get there then in the end, around, was it May or so you went out?
Yeah, so we've finished up the Leinster Championship. I remember the last game was against Meath when they knocked us out, if I'm semi-final, quarter-final, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So then headed out in middle of May for the start of pre-season. It was literally just started at that time. So straight off the plane, straight into the club, in head first and straight into a routine of AFL. So it was a big change. But yeah, loved every single second of it ever since. But yeah, I got to finish out the Leinster Championship with Kildare. Obviously didn't get the All Ireland Championship, but just with the timings of it had to be done at the time. So yeah.
Yeah. So what were the challenges you faced, apart from being so far away from home? What were the challenges you might have faced when you went out to Brisbane? Obviously, your brother and his partner were there. That probably was a help.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Ronan and Roisin have been here. They're on their third year now at this stage. So even just the decision to come and to play in Brisbane, that obviously helped that my brother was going to be here, because it's literally the far side of the world. So it's a daunting decision to make, but definitely made much easier knowing that I have family here close by, 20-minute drive away. So yeah, it's a big help to have him here, and he's become a big part of the club just as much as I am, which is great to see. He loves it as much as I do, but that's the environment that we are over here. It's a big family orientated community environment, and everyone gets involved. So it's pretty cool to see him there at all the matches and get in amongst the club as well.
Jerry, you come in after this question. Apart from a culture shock, I suppose, a move into a new country, what was the culture shock of full-time training? What was that like?
Yeah, it was definitely a shock, going full time playing football, but you're doing something that you love. So to be honest, I wouldn't say it was too much of a shock because I've just loved every second of it. It's, you're basically working, playing football 5 days a week, and you get your 2 days off. So you're put into a room with 29, 30 other girls, making friends straight away, and you're spending nearly every day with them. So um, yeah, as much of a shock it was a good shock, for sure. And yeah, it's paid off big time.
Like, I suppose that's the recovery after a hard training session, that I've been able to properly and professionally recover in a way when you're not worried about college or work. Like, that's probably a huge thing. But like, is there major differences then, even in the S&C work that you would do then, compared to over here in Ireland?
Yeah, there's definitely a good few differences, but to be honest, the biggest thing is just time more than anything. You've the time here to do a lot more stuff, to focus on your recovery, to focus on your S&C, your gym work, etc. It's pretty like similar back home. You're still doing all these things, but you definitely have more time to focus on it here to get more of a benefit out of it. Your S&C, you're still doing your gym sessions at home, not much different to the ones you're doing here. You might just have more, maybe an extra session or two in the week to do here. But yeah, definitely the time is the biggest thing. You're back home, you're going from a 9 to 5 job or whatever shift you're working, and you're going straight to training. You're up the next day for work again, and it's just a constant on the go. Whereas here, you just have that time to focus on kind of the more necessary things like your recovery and etc. So yeah, it's definitely helps a lot because it benefits when you're coming out on game day to make sure you're in the best position.
Like, you'd be super fit compared to athletes over here, obviously at the very top level. Like, but how did that compare then when you were going over to those girls in Australia?
Yeah, it's a funny one. It's a different type of fitness, I suppose. With football back home, there's no contact involved, whereas there is here, and you wouldn't think it, but it's definitely a different type of fitness. So to be honest, if I was to say if I was fitter than girls back home, it might not be actually true. But contact fitness, it's different. Like you're on the ground, you got to get back up straight away. It's tougher, but yeah, it's not too much different to what you would actually expect back home.
And like, one of the biggest differences must be, it seems very obvious, but the shape of the ball as well. Like, how did you get used to bouncing and kicking the oval ball rather than a round one?
Yeah, still struggling with it, to be honest with you, Ger. But the kicking has come on quite well, but the bounce, I'm known in the club to just not like the bounce of the football. It's just too hard, whether it's bouncing towards you or away from you. It's just so hard to judge. But just to run and bounce the ball yourself, I done it in one game, and I got it. And then I got that confident, I tried it again, and then I messed it up. So don't think I've bounced it ever since. But yeah, that's probably the hardest part, just the bounce of the football. But the kicking technique kind of comes on the more you practice it, I suppose. So yeah, the kicking has gotten a little bit easier in that sense, but still not a big fan of the shape when it bounces. I would much rather the round ball.
We'll have to get to change the shape of the ball, Neasa.
Yeah,
Speaking of
I've
which,
been saying that.
yeah. Speaking of which, how have they coped with the name Neasa Dooley?
Neasa Dooley.
Yeah, how have they coped over in Australia? The commentators and that. We've heard a few versions of it when we hear highlights or see highlights here.
Yes, I'm getting Neasa a lot since actually my debut game. The commentator that day called me Neasa Dooley. So ever since then, that's actually kind of stuck a little bit. So on some of the commentators, which is kind of funny, and the girls to this day actually still kind of call me that as a bit of a joke. So yeah, it's definitely a complicated one, but most people kind of get it right with the pronunciation with Neasa. So yeah, I'm used to it anyway. It's fine. I'll take any variation at this stage.
Yeah, you were almost straight into the action. I think maybe Jared's dog is back again, so we'll have to.
He's getting very excited. Here's an Australian sports star on. So
You're into every podcast. You were almost straight into the action. Maybe missed the first game, but you were straight into the action after that. I made, I suppose, an immediate impression as well. Was it 2 goals you scored around your first appearance?
Yeah, so I debuted in round 2, missed out on the first round, but debuted in round 2 in Perth against Fremantle. So that was there we go, celebration. So that was definitely a really good day. Got 2 goals in that game, and that was definitely one of my biggest highlights of last year for sure. That was really, really good game to get my debut on. I mean, had a good win as well, so that was the cherry on top.
Yeah, and a decent start, a little bit dip in the middle, but came good to appear in the final for the second year in a row.
Yeah, we had a bit of a rocky start. We were kind of on and off with winning and losing, and then we kind of eventually got into the flow of it towards round 7 or 8, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
from there on, we were unbeaten, and we got on to the grand final, which is a pretty good place to get to, and we've been pretty successful there over the last number of years to get to the grand final.
Yeah.
But we were just on the day it just didn't come right for us at all, really. We came out at the start of that game all guns blazing. We were doing really well, but then we just couldn't get the scores on the board. And at the end of the day, that's what wins games. So, North Melbourne, they had us. They were a great team on that day, and we just couldn't keep up. We couldn't get the fight back into us to get back going in that game. So, yeah, we done well to get to where we were, but we just missed out on that last little step at the end.
Yeah, they're a very experienced team, and you were playing in their own backyard.
Yeah, very much so. So, and there's also a couple of fellow Irish girls on the North Melbourne team as well, which are all great players. So, which I think, to be honest, benefits them a lot. The likes of Vicky Wall there and Blahin Bogue, who really stood out for them last year, and no doubt to do the same this year. So, yeah, like it's great to see Irish girls winning premierships as well. Over here, we all kind of back each other in that sense. But yeah, they're definitely a great side, very strong side, and very experienced side. So no doubt they'll be the team to beat again this year.
How did that grand final compare atmosphere-wise and whatever else compared to, say, the intermediate final that the All-Ireland intermediate final you would have played in Croke Park, 2 years before that?
Yeah, actually probably would have had more of a crowd at the Kildare game in the All-Ireland final in 2023, would have been, I suppose, 3 games on the day. So bigger numbers for sure, but I suppose the atmosphere in Icon Park, where the grand final was played here, it's a more enclosed kind of stadium. So you can definitely hear, I suppose, a louder atmosphere. Compared to Croke Park, where you have that extra seating area that wouldn't be as filled as much. But atmosphere wise, it was great in the grand final. Like it was surreal, but yeah, it was probably used to a little bit from playing that 2023 final. So yeah, pretty similar.
How do the players, cope with the disappointment? Because here you're back to work on what's the next day, but obviously it was the last game of the season for you. You're going back to your teammates and that. How do you cope with the disappointment of losing a final like that?
Yeah, it's pretty tough one to take. I think here you probably take it a little bit harder, and it's probably a harder pill to swallow. With it being, I suppose, at the end of the day, your job, and putting a lot more time into it here, you're spending pretty much every day focusing on football and looking towards winning a grand final. So it's definitely a harder pill to swallow in that sense, but you're finishing off in a grand final and you're losing it, and then you've a week afterwards of going through some interviews and exit meetings, and kind of trying to figure out what went wrong, looking back on the game, etc. So you kind of have that to go through. So that's a tough process to kind of get your head around, because at the end of the day you can't change what happened. So you just kind of have to figure it out and kind of fix it for the year that's coming up. But then after that, you kind of have your couple of months off, and then you get the chance to go and travel and kind of shake off the lows of it. For some people, it's to celebrate the highs, but for us, it's to shake off the lows. And yeah, you just kind of accept it for what happened, and then kind of change it for next year and go again.
Jerry, you and the dog have gone very quiet there.
do you feel more stress and pressure in the build up to a big game like that than you would over here? Because I suppose you're in that professional environment and in that I suppose bubble that you say, when pretty much all you have to focus on is that game. Like, so does that lead to a higher intense pressure on your shoulders?
Yeah, I'd say yes. I remember, obviously it was my first grand final, and I do remember going into that game pretty much fine up until that morning of it. The nerves definitely started to kick in, and you could feel that sense of pressure a little bit. Because it's a long kind of process coming up to it. It's mainly evening games, and we fly down to Melbourne. And it's a bit of a wait around. You're just waiting for the game to start, really. So you're kind of lost in what to do and how to distract yourself. So you're kind of in your own thoughts for most of it. So yeah, there's definitely that sense of pressure in that regard. But once kind of the siren goes or the whistle blows, those nerves pretty much disappear. But there's definitely that little bit of extra pressure compared to, I suppose, back home playing with Kildare. But
there seems to be a great bond amongst the team there. Like, following on Instagram, there's always kind of, you're doing off different things, whatever else as a team. But so there's a lot of traveling involved over there as well. So like, you do spend an awful lot of time with your teammates, and it's obviously hugely beneficial when you get to know people like that in that sort of environment too.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably another thing as well that does help, that you do have that extra time to really bond together as a group. You're flying to games, away games, every second weekend. So you're staying the night. You're spending 2-3 days in Melbourne, Perth, wherever you're playing. So definitely a lot more time to bond. And we're a very, very close group. Even on our days off, we're all kind of meeting up, whether it's to go for coffee or head down the beach for the day. Yeah,
Nord.
yeah, pretty.
You don't get that down in the Toya Castle there, brother.
No, you definitely
Down
wouldn't.
around the barrow.
The River Barrow, yeah. Go fishing down there. But nah, we're a really close knit group, and I think that helps, to be honest. We really back each other in everything that we do, and yeah, it makes it a lot easier then as well when it comes to more pressurized games, because we all just want to get each other through it, and we all want the same thing at the end of the day. So yeah, it's really good.
And how much was it of a, or maybe relief or excitement or joy to have that contract extension as well? Because it shows that after just a year with the club, that they have an awful lot of faith in you, that they want to extend your contract into a third year, which is obviously beyond the upcoming season. So you obviously caught the eye in your first year, and they have a lot of faith in you.
Yeah, it was definitely nice, that contract extension. There was talks about it last year, towards the end of last year. So that was definitely a confidence boost for me, to be kind of told that the club wanted to stay on for an extra year. And obviously I was more than happy to accept that extension. So this year is my second year of my first contract. So I'll give it another crack then again in 2027. So it's nice to know I have that security going forward. But yeah, definitely a confidence boost for sure. But the club are amazing. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this year. But knowing I have the extra year is a big help.
There's a lot of talk back here, I suppose, about GAA players being poached by Australian clubs, and I suppose Kobe McDonald, obviously on the men's side of things, he's the one that's getting an awful lot of headlines. But I mean, it creates wonderful opportunities for players like yourself, who are lucky enough to go out and have the chance to do it, and then to grasp that opportunity with both hands. So, like, I mean, there's girls probably maybe around Kildare, and I maybe be shot for this, but like, I mean, that have follow your pathway would be a dream for many, to go and play professional sport and have the opportunity to have the lifestyle down there as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably love-hate relationship with a lot of people. Which, look, you can understand it as well. Back home, you're playing football for the love of the game. It's an amateur sport at the end of the day. So when these opportunities arise, anyone will be crazy not to take them. Yeah. So like back home, it's I suppose in the ladies' side of things, it's probably a lot harder, because they're poaching girls that probably are on their stronger side in their counties. So their counties are losing out in that sense, but it's an opportunity of a lifetime. I probably never would have saw myself here in Australia only for this opportunity. And to be honest, it's probably changed my life in the best of ways. And it's amazing. I've loved every second of it. So yeah, I would say if the opportunity arose, I'd definitely be taking it for sure.
While you were away in NASA, obviously the rules have changed in LGFA for 2026 and beyond a little bit more contact, a little bit faster tap and go and all that sort of thing. Have you got much of a chance to look at it, and what are your thoughts on the new rules?
Yeah, it's just typical that the rules I like come in just as I'm the other side of the world. Definitely would have loved it. Yeah, for sure. I would have loved a shot at a 2-pointer, definitely. But yeah, I like the rules. They're great. I think they do benefit the game, the ladies' game especially. But it's something that I definitely would like to try out myself someday, and give it a crack at. But yeah, I can definitely back a few girls in that Kildare team to start kicking a few 2-pointers pretty soon. Hopefully, it's definitely something I'd like to see. So yeah, no, they're good. I like the rules. Definitely improve the game, I think.
Very good. So when does pre-season start for you in Brisbane?
So it'll start the middle of May, 11th of May if I'm correct, and then from there on, the pre-season will start for 11, 12 weeks, and then that'll bring us up to kind of around August time, and then that's when the games kind of start kicking in then. So yeah, it's good. It's looking forward to it. We're in pre-season now, as we like to call it over here. So we're just training away, doing our own kind of thing, working away at a program, to get us fit and ready for the fun stuff in May. So
And
looking forward to it.
how difficult is a pre-season? We've heard of pre-seasons here with Gaelic footballers and that, where the dinners from the previous week are coming back up. How difficult is it? Is it a bit more balance, is it?
Yeah, no, you can definitely say that for over here too. But it's definitely tough. Yeah, I suppose at this time of the year it's hard because it's just running, really. You're just constantly running and doing running sessions, condition sessions, gym sessions. So there's not much football skills at the minute, training sessions at the minute, but they'll definitely come for pre-season when May comes around. So we're all looking forward to that, just to kind of get back into a nice routine of actually playing football. But yeah, the running, it's definitely tough during it, but it's good. It's needed come game time. 'Cause it's tough. It's a tough game.
And what would you expect your role to be in 2026? Obviously, you were very much an impact, for the want of a better word, you might be called here in Ireland, an impact player over there in 2025. What do you expect your role to be in 2026?
Yeah, pretty similar to last year. Kind of that same half forward position, that half forward role, which I like. I like that position. It's good. You're kind of getting on the ball a lot, and you're that connection between the midfield and the tall forwards, key forwards as they call them here. So yeah, pretty similar role, which I'm happy to take on. And if anything changes, I'd be happy to take on that too. So we'll see how we go. We'll give pre-season a crack, and if anything changes, we'll take on the challenge.
Go ahead, Jared.
No, I was just going to say, as Ness as well. Obviously, like the sunshine and the weather is fantastic for being down around the beach. But how do you cope with that when you're being put through your paces like that in such training sessions and grueling sessions, and even then the match day as well?
Yeah, the weather and the heat is definitely a struggle. It's nice on the beaches for sure, but it's funny when I came here. Obviously, you might know that I would have got the heat stroke on my first session last year. It's a well-known story around. So I had to go straight to the ice baths just towards the end of the training session. So that was definitely a memory to keep with
So
me. But
you're the Steve Staunton of the Brisbane Lions.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny because ever since that day, I have this special my own water bottle. It has like extra supplements in it. Looks like it's hydrolytes, electrolytes, and Gatorade is what they call like the energy drink.
Yeah. No.
All mixed into one. And ever since then, I've had my own bottle. So yeah, it's good. You'd be going around after training with ice towels around your neck to keep cool. But it's good. You get used to it after a while. But yeah, it's definitely a lot hotter.
I see. And
I was asking about the rules, like, but did you get a chance to? Sorry, I know you're back for the one game as well with Kildare, but have you got a chance to kind of keep an eye on how Kildare are progressing through the National League, because they did really well in Division 1, unfortunately relegated, but we're so competitive in many of the games.
Yeah, definitely. I kept my eye on them. I didn't get to watch all the games, unfortunately, just with the time difference. Obviously, struggled, but I did get to see the Kerry game. And yeah, it was obviously they done really well. Really well to keep up with Kerry, like one of the most successful teams in today's football at the minute. So to lose by a point, I think it was. It's good going for them. It'll definitely stand to them going into the championship for the year. Obviously, it's disappointing to see they're relegated to Division 2. It'd be nice to stay up there and compete, but Division 2 is just as a competitive division as well. So, no doubt they'll give that a good crack next year, but it'll definitely stand to them coming into the championship. And yeah, I'll follow them all through, and hopefully they'll do well, and I'll wish them all the best of luck with it.
yeah, and the amount of experienced players, including yourself, who have stepped away in the last year, and to see Kildare still competing in Division 1 and just going down by the skin of their teeth, that just shows you the talent that's there. I mean, the amount of talent that has stepped away or retired or went away like yourself is unbelievable.
Yeah, there was obviously big changes to the team this year. A lot of the girls kind of had to make that decision on whether to stay or to leave, and yeah, it's definitely a hard decision for sure, no doubt. But it's great to see the likes of all those younger girls coming up from minor, or younger girls coming up from clubs that may not have ever actually got a chance, in previous years, and even just to see the likes of the girls coming back who haven't played in a long time. So there's definitely a good group there, a young group, that will no doubt develop pretty well over the next couple of years if they stick at it. But yeah, I suppose once they kind of gel together and bond together properly, that'll also stand to them. But it's definitely good to see the younger girls coming through. But you still have the likes of Leash Lenihan, Ruth Sargent there.
Very young, still very young.
Still very young.
Yeah.
Yeah, still very young and many years ahead of them. So, but also the experience that they have is amazing, and no doubt they'll carry those girls on as much as they can.
Wrap up question from you, Ger.
I think that's loads of questions there. Yeah, no, just it's great to have Kildare interest on the other side of the world. And I know there's been people watching it. Obviously, TG Carr carry some of the games as well, so to get the opportunity to see it, like, so yeah. No, just I suppose what would you hope to improve on and see where your career will progress now into your second and third year down in your contract, and maybe even longer down again?
Yeah, we'll definitely take it year by year. It's obviously last year was just, I suppose, a big learning curve for me, just trying to learn the game, take it kind of week by week, really. And each week I was learning something new, something different. And I'll still continue to do that this year because you'll never know everything. But just kind of continue on the role as best I can. Obviously, I got the chance to play 14 games last year. So if I can continue playing that and just as many this year and next year, I'll be pretty happy with that. But yeah, obviously we'll go again and hopefully get as far as we did last year. But it'd be nice to get that bit of silverware and a premiership and my name on a premiership medal, which would be pretty cool. That's definitely the dream completely come true by then. So yeah, we'll give it a crack and see how we go.
That's the stuff. Final one for me then. That's apart from Ger and myself, what do you miss about Kildare?
I have no answer now, Pat. Definitely a good few things. Family and friends is definitely number one for sure.
Sure.
If I had family and friends over here, I'd have everything.
Yeah.
But I suppose apart from family and friends, I definitely do miss the Kildare football as well. It's something I've been playing since I was extremely young in Kildare. And to watch the girls play it when I was back there in January was definitely a hard one to kind of watch and not be a part of it. But yeah, family, friends, and obviously Kildare football as well is the biggest things for me.
You have to say all your old customers in the Woodford Dolman then as well. They'd be tuned in to watch your matches too.
Yes, yeah, definitely. They all keep an eye on me out here as well, which is nice to see. But I miss that crew too.
And the Carlow football team did well since you left as well.
Yeah, they did actually. They done really, really well. I was watching that. They won their title, which was great to see. So yeah, it's amazing seeing all these things happening back home.
Yeah, well done to Joe, and of course, Kildare man Peter McConnell down there. Well, Neasa, congratulations on a great year with Brisbane Lions. Very best of luck for 2026 and indeed 2027. We'll keep in touch with you and make sure that you know that we have the support of the Kildare people, you have the support of Ireland, and you have the support of us, all of us here in the Shortgrass podcast. Go and give it a lash for 2026, and the very best of luck to you.
Thanks very much, Pat. Thanks a million. Thanks, Ger.
Thanks, Neasa. Cheers. Thank you.